put your dog back on the climb. Climb. Good. Okay. So you realize that when William said climb, he didn't even have to say stay, but his dog knows to stay on the climb. What you need to do to get your dog to this level is what we call proofing. Proofing means that like I'm proofing a command. I'm letting my dog understand that, like let's say something is bulletproof, that means bullet cannot penetrate it. So when I proof the climb,
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you subscribing, liking and sharing the video. Today we're here with Kelvin again on basic commands you can teach our dogs at home. You've all seen me on TV with Colt and I do everything I do myself because Kelvin has taught me. But then I'm not as good as he is. So we're here today and he's going to demonstrate some things that you can learn on this video or contact him and then be able to practice at home. So then Kelvin, over to you.
So when you ask me, the most important thing that I would always want a pet owner to know is a climb command. What's a climb? A climb is any projected object that's not the same level as a floor. Most of the time, when I give my dog a command, I condition my dogs to think that they cannot multitask. That means that my dog cannot be in a command and do something else. If my dog is on a climb, he's not allowed to do anything else. My dog is not allowed to whine. My dog is not allowed to bark. My dog is just supposed to be on the climb. When I give my dog the climb command, my dog is only allowed to get off the climb when I say his or her name or when my dog hears a free command. So remember, the climb is any elevated object that's not the same level as a floor. And remember, your dog cannot multitask on the climb. So if I have a dog that is distracted, we chew on my shoes, we chew on like anything that is around him or her, then you put your dog on the climb. And also, you never want to leave your dog on the climb unattended to, especially if you are teaching the climb in the beginning. So one of the benefits of the climb is as well is that, for example, I have friends over that are scared of dogs, or I have people that I don't want my dog to get close to them, maybe they're allergic or something, but they are welcome to come into my house. At that point, I put my dog on the climb. So now I'm going to have William come and demonstrate how you can teach the climb. And then you can practice at home and then your dog is going to get used to it. So let's see how William is going to teach this puppy a climb. So what you can see here right now is that this is what you would do when you're teaching your dog the climb for the first time. I want to make it easy for my dog. You realize that William went on the climb before he said the climb. What I would do would probably be say the climb and then get on the climb. The moment my dog gets on the climb, I praise my dog. I say, good girl. Then my dog learns that, oh, this is what you are trying to tell me. That's why you said climb. And another thing you want to do is that you want to teach your dog that he has to stay on the climb on his own, his or her own. So you realize that my dog is on the climb, we are not putting any tension on it. We are teaching our dogs that you have to stay there, not because I am holding you back. You have to stay there because you know you have to stay on it. So like I said, there are two situations where your dog can get to the climb. Either you say his name or her name, or you say the FRE word, which is free. So I'm going to have William either free his dog or call his dog off the climb. Remember, if you haven't said any of these two, or you haven't given your dog any command, then your dog is supposed to stay on the climb. Most often, I prefer not to tell my dog to sit or down when my dog is on the climb. I just prefer my dog to just be free. So they can roll over, they can do whatever they want, they are just not allowed to get off the climb. So, free your dog. Free.
Thank you.
Okay, put your dog back on the climb. Climb.
Thank you.
Okay. So, you'd realize that when William said climb, he didn't even have to say stay. But his dog knows to stay on the climb. What we need to do to get your dog to this level is what we call proofing. Proofing means that like I'm proofing a command. I'm letting my dog understand that, like let's say something is bulletproof, that means bullet cannot penetrate it. So when I proof the climb, I'm proofing the dog to understand that whatever happens, you have to stay on the climb. But it's not rocket science for the dog. I have to put the dog in a situation and then encourage it. So like a dog like this, I'll throw toys around, I'll dance around. If I have kids at home, I have the kids run around the climb. My dog has to learn that it doesn't matter if whatever is happening around me is fun, I still have to stay on the climb. So that's how you can teach your dog to stay on the climb, and that's how you can teach your dog the climb. You can easily lure your dog with a treat onto the climb, or you get on the climb yourself to get your dog to understand that, hey, this is what I want you to do. So that's it with a climb. So one of the basic things you need to teach your dog is a sit command. A lot of dogs will do anything for food. So if I have a dog that is food driven, I can just hold food and my dog is going to offer a behavior. Like when my dog sees food, it's going to go like, maybe I should sit, maybe I should go into a down. So I'll just be watching my dog. The moment my dog goes into a sitting position, I say yes, or I say good boy, and then give my dog a treat. Then my dog will learn that if I go into this position, it guarantees that I'm going to get food. Then I can start saying sit, and then like present the food, and then when my dog sits, I reward. So then my dog is going to associate that, okay, if Kelvin says this, then I do this, I get the treats or I get the food. But what if my dog is not food driven? I'm going to have William come over and teach us how to teach our dog that is not food driven. Like dog that, like even if you have food, it's not going to budge. How are you going to teach your dog to sit? So William is going to come and take out Bella and show us how to teach our dog to sit when our dog is not food driven. So William is going to demonstrate to us how to teach our dog to sit when we are not using food. So he's going to make it easy, especially for dogs that are not food driven. Like you have a dog that's not so crazy about food and you still want to teach your dog to sit.
Sit. Good girl.
Good. So you'd realize that William says sit, and then he used leash pressure by holding up the front of the leash and then pushes the back of the hip of the dog into the sitting position. You'd also realize that the moment the dog went into the sitting position, he said good boy, or good girl, sorry. That means that he's telling the dog that, okay, because I said this and I put you in this position, I am rewarding you by praising you. So when I keep doing this, it will get to a point in time, the moment I say sit, before I go in to put my dog in a sitting position, the dog is going to sit because he knows or she knows that she's going to get a reward by praising my dog.
We've read online and some breeders and some trainers that this prong colors, right?
Yeah, this is a
using prong colors is inhumane to the dogs. But then I can see you are using them here and then you are using them effectively because all your dogs, I don't see any of your dogs with any wounds around the neck. So then how do you use this correctly?
Okay. So the prong collar is designed to act the way a female dog would act or would put pressure on the puppies when it is correcting them. When puppies are playing rough around their mother and the mother wants to get them to stop, he grabs them. Then her teeth get distributed around the dog's neck, the puppy's neck. That doesn't mean the dog is going to kill the puppy. The mother knows the amount of pressure to put in there. I would never advise anyone to buy this and use for their dog, except if you've gotten a trainer to teach you how it works. There are lots of prong collars on the market. I use only the Springer brand. One, because the edges are rounded. You find the Chinese ones on the market that have very sharp edges. Because of that, they put plastic around it. This doesn't need to have any plastic around it because it's rounded. So if you see a prong collar that has plastic around it, you're not supposed to buy it. This is the Springer brand, and that's the only brand that I recommend. The reason being that what if the rubber comes up without me noticing and I put it on my dog? I'm going to hurt my dog. And we never use this we never give this to someone that doesn't know how to use it. You need to know how to use it before you use it. Yes. So before I use this, I need to make sure that my client or whoever has the dog knows the right way to correct the dog before you use this. But this is a training tool and it's only used in training. You would never want to leave your dog tied up with this on the dog.
And now we're done with the, what's the name of it? The thing, eh?
The climb.
Okay, so we're done with the climb, which means your dog has to be focused on whatever it's doing once it's on the climb.
Yes.
And if we teach our dogs to sit and they're able to sit, we either praise them by rubbing our hands around them or retreats. Yes. So how long are we supposed to do that sit command for the dog?
I mean, the more consistent you are, the faster the dog is going to learn. Yes, it's about consistency. Some dogs are going to learn it one day, some dogs are going to take them 3 months. But
when she sat in the sit position,
yes,
I tried to distract her. Yes, eyes were on me, but she didn't move from the sit position. What does that mean?
So a lot of people tell their dog to stay. I do not tell my dog to stay when I give my dog a command. I just prove the command. I prove the sit command by teaching my dog that if I put you in a sit and I start to walk away and you start to follow me, I'm going to say sit again and give you a correction. So my dog learns that if I'm told to sit and Kelvin starts to walk away, I'm not supposed to follow him.
Until you're commanded
Until you're commanded to.
Okay.
One of the things that would also help you is knowing the positive and the negative markers. The positive marker is either yes or good boy, and then the negative marker is no.
Is that about the word or is that about the tone?
No, it's about it's not about the tone. I always want to keep one tone when I'm talking to my dog. Because then if every time you want your dog to do something and it says sit, and your dog doesn't sit, it says sit, then your dog will only learn to obey when you scream at it. But I want to talk to my dog in the balanced tone, that I don't need to shout on my dog. So going back to the positive and the negative markers, like for example, I always tell people that they should never use the word yes in a normal situation. I would only use yes when my dog does the right thing and I have a treat for my dog. Like I'm teaching my dog a behavior like the sit. My dog goes into the sit, I say yes, and I give my dog a treat. If I don't have a treat, I'm just going to say good boy. And then the negative one is no. I always prefer people to use another language, like fui or nine, which is German for no. Yes. For example, I'm talking on the phone. I put my dog on the climb, and my friend asked me something. I said, "Oh no." Then my dog hears. He said, "No, he doesn't want me to be here." Then my dog moves. So if I teach my dog the no command in another language, my dog would never pick it up when I'm putting my dog in a command, because that's a language I never use at home. I only use it when my dog is doing something wrong. But a lot of people use the normal no, which is fine. But if you want your dog to really know that no means no, use another language, so that your dog doesn't pick up the no word in the house and he's like, oh, sometimes you say no when I'm not even doing anything wrong. Also, whenever I say no to my dog, because I want my dog to understand that no means no, I always want to have a negative association to the word no. So every time I say the word no, I'm going to give my dog a correction.
By correction, what do you mean?
Good.
Using the key, shouting or yelling at the dog,
No.
or hitting the dog.
Okay, so a lot of people think that when their dog is doing something, they say no, and they shout at the dog, that's going to work. No, it's not going to work.
It's
like
not
me,
the shouting.
It's not shouting is not a correction enough. You want to have a way to correct your dog. I believe in training colors, either a choke chain, a prong color, or an E color. Remember, you always need to talk to a trainer first before you use any of these tools. Because just like a car, if you don't know how to drive without a driving license or without anyone that knows how to drive to teach you, you're going to crash it. So you need to talk to a trainer to teach you how to use a training color. Because if I'm teaching my dog a behavior or anything, like I'm teaching my dog to sit, and I don't have a training collar and a leash on my dog, and I tell my dog to sit, my dog will think I can walk away. But if I say sit and I have my dog on a leash, I'm going to make sure that my dog sits. So every time you are training your dog, whatever you are training your dog, you want to keep your dog in a position where your dog doesn't have any option than to do it. If your dog learns that way, eventually when you take off the leash, because he already knows that when you say sit, I have to sit, he's going to sit. But imagine I'm trying to teach my dog to sit, and we are outside and I have people around. And whilst I'm teaching my dog to sit, someone is doing something interesting for my dog. What do you think your dog will do? Good. So I always tell people that every time you're teaching your dog something new, have your dog on a leash. That is the only way you can perfect it. Except if I'm in a room where it is just me and my dog and there is no distractions. Then I can teach my dog anything and everything without a leash. But if there's distractions, even if there's no distractions, I still want to make sure that my dog is on a leash so that my dog doesn't learn to know that sometimes when you say sit and I don't want to sit, I can move away and then you have to chase me before you get me. Yes.
Alright guys, so it's been fun learning from Kelvin. Honestly, we could be here for the next year if we want to learn everything that he has learned over the years. So then we'll drop his contacts in the description down below. You can call him and then find out what you need to know. See you same time next week.
Au revoir.